to America's Dummies. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of America's Dummies. I am Kyle McClure, and with me, as always, is the one, the only, Lone Wolf.
The Lone.
What's up, man? How you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Enjoying the weather?
Yeah. Enjoyed the weather. Last night was fun.
Mm-hmm. I'm loving the weather. We're in Austin, Texas right now. It is, May 13th? And at 1:50 p.m. And since last night about midnight, it's just been nothing but rain. And so it's pretty nice. Right there as I was trying to go to bed around 3 a.m., the walls would shake every now and then with the thunder. Yeah. So
I sat outside for an hour and just watched the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. I love this type of weather. It's nice. You know, the crazy thing is, too, I was actually, before I went to bed, I was just sitting in my chair and I was reading. And I was just reading the book, into the content. And next thing you know, I could hear like a little bit of a crackle. But the next thing you know, all of a sudden, just BAM! Right there above me. The walls shook. And I just remember sitting there like, and just a little jump. Like, well, crap. That scared me. Wasn't expecting that.
Right. No, I love the weather. I even sent you a video about what I want to do. Were they actually storm chasers? So these were storm chasers, and I think they made the wrong decision in backing up instead of going forward. And they got caught up in it, lifted the truck up, turned them upside down. And
they turned them upside down?
Yeah, you should watch. You didn't see the truck like...
No, I didn't. I just saw the camera move.
No, that was the truck.
Holy crap.
And they're all like, whoa!
Yeah, I know. They're all screaming like, yeah, let's go. Like, yeah. I would have been... what? No. Yeah. I've been like, God save me. Get me out of this thing.
I would like to be there.
Crying like a little bitch.
I'd be scared. I mean, don't get me wrong. Fear will be put on you, you know.
Yeah.
But I just want to experience that one day. I will.
Hey, who knows? I would probably do it in one of those heavy duty trucks that we've talked about before, where you can just pull up in a spot right into the pathway, and it has anchors into the ground. It's just an armored truck. You got just seatbelt galore. I mean, I would do that, but I would not do it in like a regular truck and just chase them down, kind of like the movie Twister. No, thank you. By the way, growing up, when I did watch those movies, I was terrified. Terrified of tornadoes, twisters, all of that, because I had family in Oklahoma. And as you know, Oklahoma has quite a bit of tornadoes. And I had family up there, and we would go visit there quite frequently. And every time we do and there's a storm, I get freaked out and think that a tornado is going to come, and especially when it gets windy. And so that movie gave me nightmares, and I was just terrified about it.
I love that movie.
I love it now. I can watch it now, but back in the day, it just... No.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, the main character in that movie was a machine, Dorothy. You know, at the end, when they put her in the tornado.
Yeah, and it releases all the... Yep, I remember that.
Like, the whole movie was based on putting that
I wonder if that's
equipment in the tornado. I think so. I mean, they have really good radar systems.
Because they're just essentially, that's all they were anyways, was just sensors.
Yeah.
So it helped them track it and gather data.
You'll see the inside of it.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. It was pretty neat. I like that part of the... And then, of course, the part where they strap themselves to pipes and the whole bar just comes off.
Yeah, that...
I don't know about that, but...
Yeah, that's...
And they don't get hit by anything?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I mean, you at least expect a cow to hit them.
They should have been plowed by wood and glass and everything.
But that is Hollywood for you. Anyways, we're kind of just going off on random crap right now. But we wanted to talk today a little bit about a few things. One, illegal immigration, especially right now with Title 42 ending and the surge just getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, you were telling me that was it NBC?
NBC. Last night they reported in the last 3 days 32,000, over 32,000,
over 32,000 that we know of.
Oh yeah, that's
coming across the border in 3 days.
Illegally.
3 days. Illegal people. Yeah. Illegal. People who have no business being here because they didn't try to come in here legally. And you said something about Title 8?
Yeah.
Is that possibly Trump's
I don't know.
rule?
I didn't look it up last night. But I do know Title 42 lifted, and they immediately placed Title 8. But I don't know what that consists of. I do know they are releasing people into the country because the border towns are overwhelmed. And they do have conditions, like they have to check in, like I don't know if it's once a week or whatever. But they're not going to do that.
Well, see, that's the thing. According to the Daily Wire, they are being let in, like captured on the thousands, let into the country, like captured and released. So catch and release. That's what it's called. They were being released into. They're being into. Let's pretend that noise was thunder. They're being released into the interior of the United States illegally with no court date and with no way to track them. And a lot of these people, too, that are getting court dates, a lot of them reportedly aren't being scheduled until 2027.
Yeah.
It's 2023. 2027, so they're going to be here for 4 years without a court date. Yeah. Good luck trying to track them down and get them to go to a court date. I mean, seriously, you think that these judges, and this is what they want, this is what the Democrats want.
What are they going to do for 4 years? Like, they have no documentation, right? They don't have work permits. So what's going to happen is identities are going to get taken.
Stolen.
Social security numbers, your name, and they're going to find work with that.
They're going to, even then, people will still know that they're illegal, and they're going to put them to work because it's cheap labor.
Yeah,
but that's
cheap labor, under the table.
But anyways, hey, we'll go ahead and come back to this. I have something on here that's talking about a breakdown of the Title 8 policy. It looks like it's someone from El Paso talking about it. El Paso immigration attorney talks about it on KFOX 14. Yeah. I'll read through this real quickly here in a little bit. We can bring it back up. But the first thing I wanted to do, which I think everybody here will like it, is a nice little story that happened out of Nashville, Tennessee, in regards to a hotel manager for a Hilton chain. I don't know if it was, they didn't describe the article that I read, whether it's Hilton, specifically maybe a Hilton-owned hotel chain. But there was a night manager that was charged with aggravated burglary and assault because he, at 5 a.m., he snuck into a guest's room. This is a male manager going into a male guest's room and started sucking his toes. Okay, he sucked his toes. He went into the room saying that, okay, he smelt smoke. So he went into the room to make sure it was okay.
He didn't report that to anybody, though.
But he didn't report that to anybody else. And nobody else reported smelling smoke. And next thing you know, the guest is waking up to someone sucking off his toes. I mean, who does that? I mean, are you serious right now? Just sneak into a guest?
That's crazy.
I mean, would you do that?
No.
You wouldn't? Oh.
Suck somebody's toes? No.
Is it just me? Wait, what?
Come on, man.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, of course.
Well, apparently this guy had a criminal record, too, and he got hired.
Yes, yeah. So he actually had a felony criminal record, so it wasn't misdemeanors. And one of the I think part of it was maybe like drinking and driving was one of them.
He had a manslaughter that he did prison time.
The other one, the biggest one, which he shouldn't even been hired for at a Hilton hotel, at the very least, at the fact where he could be put into a management position, is he was charged with manslaughter and did prison time, which is ridiculous. So how Hilton missed that, because they do background checks. So how they missed that, or negligent enough to
it depends
look over?
How long ago too. Most of these companies do backgrounds at 7 years. So if it happened over 7 years and they look back, and it's not there. They probably didn't look back far enough. Maybe he did it longer than 7 years ago.
Possibly, but even if it is 10 years ago, 15 years ago, shouldn't something pop up on a background check?
It should.
Yeah, it should just, I mean,
I actually lost, like that recently. Yeah, we lost an employee that stuff popped up that he did a while back.
Yeah.
Over 7.
Yeah,
so I guess it should have popped up. They should have known.
Especially something about manslaughter in prison.
Yeah.
And not to mention, if he didn't put that on the application, he committed a crime. Surprise there. And he committed a crime by lying on his form and not disclosing his criminal record, his criminal history. Mm-hmm. So
I got fired for something like that.
Yeah. See? Criminal right here.
I'm not a criminal.
No.
So I had an hour to get this application in.
Yeah.
Had my daughter. Didn't have internet.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, okay.
Ran to the library, filling it out as fast as I can and send it back. So I checked the box that I graduated from UTI, and I didn't. And HR questioned me about it. I told them what happened, and they called it falsifying company documents.
Some of these things, I just think is a bunch of bull.
Yeah.
I mean, falsifying company documents to that degree, like you made a check mark on the wrong box and you're fired. I mean, it's one thing. It's like, okay, well, technically speaking, this is a position that's only for UTI graduates or people with similar educational background. So we're going to have to let you go. That's fine. But if they're also like, I mean, you were there, right? You were actually working there.
I was already an employee, yeah.
Yeah, and just like, oh, well, tell you what, why don't you refill this out, make sure we have the correct information on file.
So I was there.
Going forward, and you're doing a great work so far, so we'll keep you on board. I don't get it. I
don't get it. I asked them when I could go back. She said 7 years.
7 years? Mm-hmm.
And I laughed at her. Now it's like, yeah, I'm not coming back.
Yeah, no kidding.
I liked the job, though. It was fun. Building, multi-storage cabs and stuff like that. It was pretty cool.
It's unfortunate.
Terabytes.
Anyways, so that toe sucker, he has been arrested and he's been held on a $27,000 bond. So I think that the hotel guests are safe for now, unless he had an accomplice or an apprentice or maybe a copycat.
If you're at a hotel too, people, remember to lock the door. Use the safety. What is it called?
I have no idea. I know what you're talking about. You know how in hotels you have the regular lock or the
and then you have
locks, and then you have another one that you just put over, and even if they were to open it, they can't open because they get stuck.
I mean, there's ways
whatever
around
that thingy is.
There's ways to get it open, but it's a lot harder than just putting the key in it.
Yeah.
So if you're in a hotel,
make sure you're safe.
Yeah.
Lock the door. Put a chair in front of it.
And
then a desk, and then make sure that you sleep with your head facing the door, and then a gun in the nightstand.
That sounds like bad sleep. No sleep.
Just lay there with your eyes open.
Yeah.
And just say that you sleep with your eyes open.
Yeah, but it's a crazy world out there. Just lock your door.
Yeah. So, anyways, we wanted to share that story with y'all. We thought that some of y'all would find that hilarious. I thought it was toe licking good, so
Yeah, that's crazy.
But anyways, we'll go ahead and move on. And another thing we wanted to discuss today was the recent CNN Townhall, Republican Townhall, with Donald J. Trump, former president and frontrunner for the 2024 presidential election. And I got to say, CNN got their asses whooped by Donald Trump. I mean, come on. Opposition that Trump thrives on is going to hold a town hall with someone moderating, air quotes, moderating, because she was basically trying to run interference and live fact check him and basically push a narrative that he is a liar, which we'll discuss later about the panels constantly saying, oh, he's a liar. We know he is. He's always been a liar. He's not a truth teller. Like, okay, and Joe Biden is the bastion of truth when he lies.
All of them do.
They all do. But Trump, I can tell you right now, he exaggerates a lot for effect.
He gets carried away.
Right. But he's not a liar. Especially like Joe Biden.
All of them do.
No, everybody lies. And if anybody tells you the politician doesn't lie, they're lying or they're ignorant to the fact.
Yeah.
But in Trump, yes, he's going to lie. But at the same time, he's going to be more truthful. And he's not a liar like someone such as Joe Biden or Caitlin Collins, who was the moderator for CNN, who outright either lied or is stupid and doesn't know a lot of the facts about a lot of cases.
You know, one of those facts is her timeline. Mm-hmm. When she was talking about you waited 3 hours, but he posted a Truth Social text at 2:30. So
that was Twitter, but they took it down.
Yeah. So the timeline is wrong because not the whole timeline is there. Mm-hmm. Right?
And they don't report the whole timeline.
Yeah. Report the whole thing.
They just report what's
you can't say 3 hours when
kept up there.
He has records of him posting a tweet.
That's
at 2:30.
That was one of the best parts about the
he's like
about the whole thing is
the crowd and everything.
No, I mean, I know a lot of y'all probably aren't too interested in watching these kinds of things, especially with all the regular things you got to deal with on a day-to-day basis. But if you ever have time, go check out the CNN Townhall with Donald Trump and see if you can find the full video or clips that show you full context.
Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but they can find it on Rumble. It's there.
Yeah, you can find it on Rumble, which, FYI, don't forget, you can find us on Rumble, too. Forgot to mention that, at America's Dummies 22. Okay, that's you'll find us there. That's America's Dummies 22 because we started this in 2022. Mm-hmm. So you can find us on Rumble there. You could also, that's where we prefer that you go to check us out because there we won't be censored. We won't be taken off or anything like that. We won't be demonetized for saying something that's controversial, but in reality is actually based in facts, like transgenderism, and you're a guy if you have a penis, and you're a woman if you have a vagina.
Yeah. Surprised that's still up.
Well, because we're not big enough.
Yeah.
So help us get there. But you can also find us on YouTube at America's Dummies. You can follow us on Twitter at America's Dummies, although we're not too active on Twitter, at least not yet.
Yeah.
And so you can also give us some feedback at America's Dummies podcast at gmail.com and comment below on what you, on a regular basis, on a day-to-day basis, actually worry about the most. Is it what they talked about in the CNN Town Hall about January 6th and the 2020 election? Or is it, I don't know, inflation and being able to pay rent and have food on the table?
Let us know.
Comment below. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you worry about. But I will say, Caitlin Collins got her ass whooped. Mm-hmm. And she tried to run interference all the time. In fact, check him the entire time by interrupting him constantly. Trying not to let him get a word edgewise.
Yeah, because she didn't have anything solid.
And the funny thing is, she would say stuff like, she said, oh, well, there's no evidence of that. But let's go ahead and move on to a question with the audience. Or, Mr. Trump, there's no evidence that you're wrong. That didn't happen. But let's move on to the audience question.
Well, some of your people, when she was talking about the rigged election, mm-hmm. saying that some of the GOP officials disagreed with Trump or whatever, and he's like, who? And she didn't have a name.
And she's like, who? Republican officials. Like, who? Republican officials in Georgia and every other state. Still couldn't name anybody.
Yeah.
And then, she did that a couple of times. Same with when he said there's even Democrats that said that if he was president, the Ukraine war wouldn't happen, which, honestly, I don't think there's any denying that. The crazy part is when she brought that up. So when she brought that up, she asked him, who do you want to win? Mm-hmm. Right? Do you want Ukraine to win? And of course, in war, nobody really wins.
Nope.
I mean, there's one side that suffers more casualties and losses than the other. That's essentially it. And it's a travesty when people die, especially in a needless war, over land, right? Over resources. It sucks. But, so she wanted... she kept asking, so do you want Ukraine to win the war? Do you want Ukraine to win the war? Do you want Ukraine to win the war? And so on and so on and so on, because she's just a drone and annoying, albeit not terribly bad looking, but she has no upper lip, so it's a little weird when she talks. Yeah. But so she kept asking.
Yeah, it's like she wanted.
And she's like, and then he said, "Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
When I'm president, within 24 hours, the war will be over." And then immediately there's applause in the entire town hall. Just applause, applause, applause.
Well, before he said that, he also said he doesn't look at it in a term of winning and losing. He looks at it in people are dying and it needs to stop.
Exactly.
And he'll do it in 24 hours. And when he said that, I believe him.
I do too. And here's why. Because when she asked him, how would you end it in 24 hours? He said he would meet down with both President Putin and Zelensky. And he said they both have weaknesses and they both have strength. Okay, he opened up with they both have weaknesses. Mm-hmm. All right, and yes, we can acknowledge that they both have strengths. Everyone in positions of power is going to have strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. Except for Biden, he's just all weaknesses. Anyways.
He does have a military. He commands.
Yeah, but that's not his strength. And who knows, if you know anything about devolution, which I know very little, he may not have control over the military.
That's true.
Don't know. I have to look into it, but hat tip our buddy Craig for saying something about devolution.
Yeah. I told you.
We just had a knock at the door. That's my Mother's Day gift for my mom.
Yeah.
The one day that they knock.
We're recording.
The one day that they knock. They usually don't. Of course.
Yeah.
It's all right. I'll get it later. But anyways, it's safe to say that I believe Trump knows something that we don't in terms of weaknesses to exploit on both Putin and Zelensky. Because Trump and his team were responsible for the Abraham Accords, or is it the Abraham Accords or is it Lincoln Accord? No, Abraham. I think it's the Abraham Accords. By the way, he's responsible for brokering, peace treaties, if you will, between I think three or plus Middle Eastern countries, which no one else has done before. And he did not start any wars, and including when he killed one of the biggest terrorists in the world from Iran. When he killed him in Iraq, everybody was like, CNN, especially CNN, was like, oh, there goes World War III. World War III is about to start. Here comes World War III. Nothing happened. And Iran responded by attacking the Iraqi base where Americans were using, but they gave them a heads up, and no one died. Because Iran knows they cannot mess with the United States because they will get eradicated off the face of the earth,
especially with Trump in power.
Exactly. And crazy wins every single time.
Oh yeah.
If you're a bully in school and you're messing with a couple kids and one of them just starts going all crazy and outlandish and snaps and starts doing weird like jujitsu moves, trying to get ready, like "Haw!" You're like, never mind, I'm good. I'm just gonna walk away, freak. And then they walk away because they don't know what to expect.
Well, it's crazy. Like those 4 years he was president, I didn't hear about no wars and, like in Sudan right now. Mm-hmm. They're killing each other over there.
Well, the civil war in Sudan has been happening for a long time, but we're not involved.
Yeah.
That's not our issue. And that's not between two major countries.
Yeah, but you didn't hear about stuff like that. I don't know if they just didn't report on it or whatever.
They didn't report on it like they are now because Trump was in office and they couldn't get it's Trump derangement syndrome. It's called Trump derangement syndrome for a reason, because they couldn't get their minds and their words and their focus off of Trump and what he did that day and what he said. All right, these people are obsessed with Trump. That's why CNN had the town hall. People were bashing CNN. Democrats, and other media outlets were bashing CNN for giving Trump a platform for disinformation, to spread disinformation.
So
but they need him for ratings.
Yeah, so that was my theory. Like, CNN put on Trump just so they can get the ratings.
Exactly. It's like they have 100,000 people watching their crap.
And Trump took advantage of that, and he did pretty good. And also, like, CNN has new owners, and
Chris Lick, new CEO.
Yeah, and they're more conservative. One of them is conservative, and they're moving in that direction, maybe.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, theory could be they're moving more conservative or moving more to the center to be a little bit less biased. What they need to do in order for them to do that, you need a clean house. Clean house with everybody. And when I mean everybody, I mean your producers, your journalists. You need to clean house with your anchors at least. I mean, nobody watches their shows to begin with. Okay, that's why they use Trump for the ratings. They need hit Trump for their platform to survive. I mean, we all know CNN Plus, their app lasted 21 days after they invested like $100 million.
What a waste of money! $100 million
tanked, and
could have given me 3.
Trump showed at the town hall exactly why people love him and exactly why people like CNN hate him, because he destroys them on a regular basis. And it's when people like Caitlin Collins and people like Anderson Cooper who try to run interference or who try to change or alter the narrative, alter the truth by misleading you on purpose, or even if it's just misfeasance by not knowing the full truth before they report on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they omit a lot of information and a lot of facts so that way they can push their narrative that's anti-Trump, anti-Republican, and pro-Democrat, pro-left-leaning ideology, pro-Biden, and so that way they can control everything. They can control the media, they can control institutions, the government, just everything. And Trump just doesn't let it happen. And they're afraid of him coming back into power because they know that with Trump, the deep state's in real trouble. Mm-hmm. The media, the people will constantly see the hypocrisy with the media and the outright lying that they do, because it's one of those things. It's like you bringing a sense of light onto darkness, and they don't like it. Like they like the shadows.
Well, these people that are in control, they want you to do what they want you to do. That's what you have to do. And as soon as they get somebody like Trump that is not going to put up with that BS, mm-hmm. they want to take him out.
It's funny, too, is after the CNN Townhall, and there's so many moments, I urge that you go watch it, because there's so many moments where he's just so funny. I mean, when they're talking about the January 6th timeline, he's just like, here, I got that. Let me pull out the facts. Let me pull out the events. It's just in Trump fashion, of course, and started pulling out paper, showed it to everybody,
Crazy
and
Pelosi.
Started reading about it. Crazy Pelosi, which he called his affectionate name for Pelosi. And of course, AOC had a meltdown over that, over his responses to E. Jean Carroll, who won a sexual abuse or sexual abuse. Or something like that, and defamation. Which, by the way, they didn't prove that he raped her, and they after like a couple of hours of deliberation, they came to a verdict.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound fair to you? When there's after 20-something years with no proof that Trump did anything, they came to a verdict and found him guilty.
Liable.
I mean, are you serious?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, they found him liable, not guilty. Yeah. It was a civil verdict.
Yeah.
It was a civil court case. So they found him liable of sexual abuse, which,
without
by
evidence.
The way, an unwanted peck on the cheek, or a peck on the cheek, and then later they say, oh, I didn't want that, could be considered sexual abuse.
No.
But he claims that he never met her. And
he also said, like, what type of woman is this that a few minutes after meeting somebody, we're playing hanky-panky in the dressing room. Like, what the?
Trump, you gotta love Trump and his ability to say words sometimes. And by the way, a lot of things like, you're nasty.
Yeah.
And then another one is he pointed at her and shoot her away. Like, please, come on now. Which was funny. And they cut it short. They cut it short. So it was, I think, originally scheduled for 90 minutes, but they said it'll probably run about 75 minutes, and it cut short around an hour. So they cut it short by probably 20 minutes or so. 20 minutes after you take out the commercials, I think. No, but yeah, they cut it by 20 minutes because Trump was...
They probably saw what direction it was going.
Yeah,
it's like, okay,
and they're like,
we got to turn this off.
We can't fix this.
Yeah,
we can't. Caitlin Collins is getting her ass destroyed, cut off, handed back to her on a platter. Like, here you go. I know you need this.
Yeah. One thing I would have liked, though, for the crowd to be more mixed, you know.
Well, it's a Republican town hall for a reason. Because my question is, why Republican town hall?
I don't know.
Why was it...
Can we
CNN of all people?
Can we have a Democratic town hall?
Well, I'm pretty sure there will be, but that'll be for Joe Biden. And he also made a quip. Like when he made that video on January 6th, he made a quip that I made this excellent video, this great video, and
I don't need a script.
Unlike some people out there, referring to Joe Biden, which was awesome because it's true. Joe Biden needs a script, and he can't even stick to it, and he can't even read it and pronounce words correctly. And he stumbles over himself, and he doesn't know what he's saying because someone else is controlling him because he is dead, and we are playing Weekend at Bernie's for another, year and a half?
I'm looking forward to the debates.
Oh, yeah. And I think it's safe to say Trump is the front runner for the Republican Party. I don't think even if DeSantis were to announce that he would be able to get the votes.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's going to be Trump.
Trump showed why he is the Republican Party leader right now. Mm-hmm. And because he has a certain flair about him. People love him. And the media says people hate him, but in reality, it's just Democrats that hate him because he goes against everything that they want.
Yep.
And because the media lie and try to make him seem like a right-wing neo-Nazi tyrannical leader, which is not true, and they have no facts to back that up. And they manipulate events and words and take it out of context to help them suit their narrative.
Oh, yeah. Just like you were talking about when he said beautiful day, and he said beautiful day literally, like it was a nice day. And they took that to him describing January 6th.
Oh yeah, he was saying like
that it was
as
beautiful.
He was going to, it was hundreds of thousands of people coming to watch, make their voices heard, do a protest, which is our American right, and to listen to Donald Trump speak. Of course, he's going to say that's a beautiful day because the focus is around him. He gets the attention, so of course it's a beautiful day, and yet they're going to say, oh, he said beautiful day about January 6th, as in he loved the fact that people stormed the Capitol and people hurt police officers and died. And he called by the way, he called the police officer that killed Babbitt, he called a thug because there was no reason for him to do that. There's no reason for him to kill her when he was like 5 feet away and she was coming into a window and there were no weapons visible and he just shot her. Nobody heard him giving any like, hey, stop, don't go any further, I will shoot. No one heard any of that. And then of course he went on TV and things like that to describe his heroism and kind of bragged a little bit with some selective wording.
I think he just panicked.
But yeah, more than likely he just panicked. And of course he called him a thug for that. Trump called him the officer a thug for that. And then what was the media's response, including the CNN panel after the town hall? Oh, and he called a black Capitol police officer a thug. Why you gotta say black? Why you gotta bring race into this? Trump didn't.
Nope.
You did. We never bring race into this. Republicans, that is. We never do. It's always the Democrats and the journalists and the left-leaning ideologues that constantly bring race into the conversation because it helps them create a division between what they say are the good guys themselves, not focusing on race and equity and inclusion, and then of course the MAGA Republicans hating the
that's crazy
Americans over race. It's like we are also comprised of black people, Hispanic people. We have Hispanic people coming over in droves to support the Republican Party, especially DeSantis in Florida. I mean, we have Asians, we have migrants. people from other countries.
The United States of America.
Yeah.
Like super diverse.
Exactly. And that's just the way it is. We don't focus on race like the Democrats do. We don't make it a staple of what we run on.
It's like Morgan Freeman said, you want to stop racism, stop talking about it.
Except the left thrives on racism and bringing it up. But anyways, all right. I think that's enough about Donald Trump. Yeah. We can go on and on and on about it, as clearly we have. But we'll go ahead and end our podcast with illegal migration right now. Yeah. And so we'll talk a little bit about that before we go here.
We talked about it a little bit in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's like a whole bunch of people coming in. I've been watching videos of people just like storming the bridges. And it's sad, And a lot of these people, like, they're just looking for a better life. I understand that. But, you got to do it the right way. And what sucks is the right way is not available to them either. Mm-hmm. Like, it's impossible to make an appointment to have an asylum hearing when you're outside the United States. Mm-hmm. So what do we do?
I don't know. And you know what's crazy is Joe Biden even so they had a directive that was towards the Border Patrol saying that there's 1,500 National Guards going to the border to help with administrative paperwork.
I don't think those were National Guards. I thought they're Reserve. I think it's Army.
No, it's National Guard. You can't deploy anything other than National Guard on U.S. soil.
Okay.
Yeah. So
thought I heard the Reserve.
But it could be National Guard reserves, but a lot of people are on the reserves. But anyways, they did 1,500 National Guard troops to the border to help with paperwork to free up Border Patrol agents to help with enforcement. And enforcement of what? You're not putting anything into place, and you started putting something back into place that was under Donald Trump, which you immediately did away with when you first came into office because it was done by Donald Trump. And because you knew that as soon as that happened, people in droves were going to come to the country illegally and help your bases, help your cause. And you think that they're going to vote Democrat. And so you think that you can get away with, again, rigging another election because you think that if you let these people in, they're going to vote Democrat. If you give them free stuff, they're going to vote Democrat.
What's crazy is it's like, Trump points at rigged elections, and people's like, oh, there's no evidence of that. So if these people are coming in and their hope is for them to vote Democrat, they're illegal. Mm-hmm. How are they voting? Because you got to be registered to vote. Mm-hmm. You got to present an ID at the voting booth.
Whoa.
How are they
present
voting?
An ID? That's racist, sir.
No, it's not. Since forever.
According to the Democrats, it's racist.
No, you're identifying yourself as an American citizen and you have the right to vote. That's why that's what you're doing.
That's what it is.
And you're legal. You can legally vote. Mm-hmm. So how are these people voting? And then, but there's no evidence of rigged elections. That's evidence right there, if you ask me.
That is evidence. And then there's also things like Pennsylvania. They're changing their election laws unconstitutionally, bypassing the actual chain of command to create it. Right? They changed the law without going through the legislative. And they ruled it unconstitutional after Joe Biden was inaugurated. Yeah. So that's another thing. Anyways, we can go on about that too.
Isn't that criminal though?
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure. But Title 8, it looks like, is basically says it allows for the expedited removal of individuals who are ineligible for asylum due to criminal backgrounds or who are not able to prove their legal basis to stay on U.S. soil. So in other words, they have no legal basis to come in, such as they have no asylum seeking based paperwork, or they didn't file for asylum from before they got here. So it's like, okay, sorry, we don't see any reason why we should let you in. Let's get you out. But I mean, how do you do that when you have 32,000 people coming in one day? No, in 3 days. My bad. 3 days.
They're overwhelmed. Even one of the shelters down there, like the guy that runs the shelter, he even said in the news, like, I'm over capacity. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Democrat mayors of cities here in border towns here in Texas are saying that this is out of control. We need to do something, and we're calling for a state of emergencies because we can't handle this influx of migrants. And we're still sending them to other sanctuary cities, which say that they welcome illegal migrants.
Well, even the sanctuary cities are overwhelmed too.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, here's a title for you from the Daily Wire. Biden heads to beach after shattering all-time record with 83,000 illegal aliens storming border in 1 week. And it's a picture of people just crossing the Rio Grande River and trying to get over. And then, of course, they're greeted with Border Patrol agents and a just long wall of barbed wire. And so... But yeah, while the illegal immigration is still going on, while the illegal migrants are still coming over to our border, and 11,000 in 1 day, 13,000 in 1 day, he's going to go to his beach home in Delaware, which is guarded by, get this, a taxpayer-funded wall. How about you open up your walls, open up your doors to these people? You want us to?
How about you use your own money to build a fence? Don't use my money.
Yeah.
I am not responsible for your fence.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I can't believe that this is going on. And if you just look, and of course, there's also people that as soon as they get into the U.S., they take a bunch of paperwork, like visas that's not even theirs, right? People who have incorrect visas because they stole them or they took someone else's. I mean, the paperwork just being left, they throw it away. I mean, there's a drone that I think it was Fox News had, and it was over just a pile of trash just going and going and going, because these people, as soon as they come in, they have no regard for sanitation, they have no regard for our land, they have no regard for our country, and they have no respect for it. And so they just take their trash and they leave it on the land. They leave it in the bushes, in the trees, and on the ground, anywhere and everywhere.
I wouldn't say all of them do that.
Not all of them, but a large amount of them.
I mean, Americans do that too. I've been to a beach and there's trash everywhere. Of course,
but still, you get my point.
I get your point, but, let's keep it fair.
Okay, fine. We'll keep it fair, but still, it's horrible to see.
No, they need to come up with a system. Like, there is no system right now. Everybody's coming across. They can't make an appointment outside the border. Like the app that getting a little carried away. But the app that the Biden administration put up for them to set up appointments doesn't work. Mm-hmm. So what are they supposed to do?
You know what's crazy? If you look, I'm looking at a photo of Biden. He looks dead. He looks like he's dead. I'm serious. The dude is pale. He looks 20 years older than he is, and he's already old. And then, of course, it's saying that before he goes to the beach, he's going to do a commencement speech or address at Howard University in Washington, D.C. I'm sorry, but who wants to listen to him speak? Every time he speaks, I'm like, it's slow. He's droning on. I can barely understand him. It sounds like he needs to drink some water, because it sounds like he's got cotton mouth, and he messes up words all the time. He can't read. He's squinting all the time. He's always squinting. It's like, I'm sorry, is the sun right there in your face inside a building? Come on, we're not Asian here.
Well, they got all those lights and stuff in there, production. But still, he's not. Don't take a Biden speech as his own. He's reading this stuff from people that do it for him.
He doesn't even pay attention to what he's saying. It doesn't register. You can clearly see that. I mean, he gets lost on where to walk after he's been told where to walk. I mean, come on. You really think that Joe Biden is leading the country? No, it's not. It's a bunch of know-nothing 20-something-year-olds, in his administration, or 30-something-year-olds in his administration that have no experience, no wisdom, no knowledge, incompetent dumbasses, I mean, seriously, their heads are so far up their ass that they don't know what the American people want or need, and they're just doing it based on what they want, what they feel like is best, without any regard to the U.S. Constitution or America's priorities.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 83,000 people in 1 week. 83,000.
It's a lot.
I mean, are you kidding me right now? This is way too much, and we need to do something to repel these people. I mean, Senator Ted Cruz was at the border, and he was livid, and enraged. And of course, you had a reporter saying to Senator Ted Cruz, "When are you Republicans going to do something about this?" Like, excuse me, Republicans, we're not the ones allowing people to come in. This isn't our doing. This is directed by the policies of Joe Biden, your president, that you more likely voted for. Yet this is a Republican's fault? No, it's not. And by the way, guess who runs the Senate? The Democrats.
Mm-hmm. It's the Democrat president.
And Democrat president. And he can veto anything. He can put policies into place that just...
The Ted Cruz thing, like... I didn't really like it, because to me, like, this has been going on for a while. This has not just happened yesterday. And to me, he's just trying to get some attention. That's it.
Think so?
Yeah.
I think he's...
Why wasn't he there last week?
I think he's getting fed up.
2 months ago.
He's been to the border quite often in the past few years. Right, specifically because of all the issues that we are dealing with illegal immigration. Right?
I'll have to look it up because I don't remember him.
Yeah, he goes quite often. He goes quite often. He's not always filmed, but he goes quite often. Just like Joe Biden said, he went, but nobody saw him there. There was no filming of him there. Where was he?
I didn't see Joe Biden anywhere.
Exactly. But one of the reasons why he was there recently is because of the end of Title 42, and they're trying to figure out, okay, what can we do to prepare for Title 42? That's the reason why he was there. And he's talking with Border Patrol agents and people in charge and trying to come up with a plan, right? And then, of course, a reporter, while he was not doing a press conference, a reporter came to him and started asking that question. Of course, he got pissed off because he's just like, you serious right now? You're going to try and blame this on me? You're going to try to blame this on Republicans? This is not our doing. And so he just got fed up. But
I'm going to go watch that.
Yeah. Anyways, that is it for today. We're going to go ahead and end it there. Thank you guys for tuning in. And we hope that some of y'all are able to take what we say and just kind of run with it and do your own research, because it can be very fascinating stuff. Seriously, check out some of that stuff from the town hall. It was pretty funny. And don't forget, lock your hotel doors. Make sure nobody can come in and suck your toes. And so thanks again for tuning in. And you can always check us out again on Rumble at America's Dummies 22 or YouTube at America's Dummies. And don't forget, comment below what you are mostly worried about on a day-to-day basis. Is it the 2020 election? Is it January 6th? Is it the Ukraine war? Or perhaps is it, I don't know, inflation and trying to pay your bills and put food on the table? Anyways, that is it for us. Lone Wolf, any closing statements?
No, like Kyle said, just, put in your comments, let us know. And we can use that to maybe help our next episode with topics.
Let us know what you want to hear.
Yeah. So
let us know what you want us to cover.
Hit us up, and that's it. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. And also, we forgot to mention the table has officially gone round. So let us know if you think this looks better. And let us know what you think about the background. We had it at blue, red, and now white. Let us know which one you prefer, or if you think we should just continuously change it up.
Yeah, let's randomize it.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks again for everybody tuning in. Don't forget to click the share button, the like button, and subscribe. And that is it for today. Till next time.
Peace.
We are America's Dummies.